Taurus, hi. I'm coming in, I'm having some coffee, and I'm going to do for the mid-month of February from the 15th to the 28th for the sign of Taurus. Hope you guys are doing all right. Let's see. We're going to do 6 cards and clarify with another deck, and I'm going to pull an oracle card at the end of so the energies of the moon. All right. Let's see what we got for Taurus mid-month. All right, we got the King of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. Okay. The Eight of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Devil. All right, let's see what we can find out, and then we'll clarify. All right, guys. You have a lot of fire energy here. So it's very possible if you're feeling like you need to, like, kind of almost like plow ahead towards something. Because I feel like maybe you're doing something where you need to be, fully in charge, all about, being able to, like, rule your kingdom, kind of, like, where you're putting everything you have into whatever it is that you're doing, because things are moving pretty fast for you and you want it to move fast, but I feel like you're still trying to be, like, sensitive and tolerant and be engaged with people, so you're not being just like all bossy and this is how I want to do and this my kingdom and you're gonna have to deal with it. And I feel like you're still trying to be sensitive and you're trying not to, like, be like a blowhard, because not that the King of Wands energy is. It's almost like, he's a very good leader and he knows people will follow him. So when he puts his mind to something and getting people to do things, like, he could be like a supervisor or a manager, and where he knows that he could, give people like that extra oomph to go do something and they are happy to do it. Like, they're like, oh yeah, he or she knows what they're doing, so I'm going to follow them. But I feel like you still want to kind of be sensitive and not where somebody would be afraid to say to you, well, wait, can we do it this way or can we do it that way? Like, you're more balanced out, actually. And that's why I almost feel like your energy is like coming up as the King of Wands and the King of Cups. Again, male or female, but because Taurus is the Pentacles, and the Pentacles energy is very determined and very, like, always on task. They're good about getting things done and knowing they have to work hard, but they're also not the kind of energy that would make people go, we're going to get it done, we're going to get it done now. That's what that feels like. These are people that, this one is like, yeah, I'm firm, I'm fair, but you're going to have to handle it the way I do it, or you're not going to handle it at all. And where the King of Wands is like, okay, well, I can be, I'm passionate about this, I feel really strong about this, and I want to make sure this happens. And I'm going to see if I can make you guys almost like rewarding things. Like, I feel like that's what that energy is. They will reward things to make people say, oh yeah, see, this works because I'm getting good stuff out of this, or this works and look, I feel good doing it, that feeling. So, you have those two competing energies, and I feel like that's just because they are the ones that will make things happen quicker. With this Eight of Wands, I feel like this is making things happen quicker, because Pentacles, and I know I've said it a million times, it's slow. It's not that it's not awesome when it happens, but it's a slow energy. It's not a haste. It's not a, hurry up and get there, hurry up and wait kind of energy either. It's like kind of just, it's slow. It's grounded. It's stable. It wants to make things happen, but in its own time. And these guys aren't. They're just, way more, into the, let's push forward, So with this energy of the Eight of Wands, it's like that's actually what's happening, and that needs what's happening. I can't speak. That's what it needs to happen, because you have this Page of Pentacles on here, and you're like, this is a serious thing that you have in your mind. You want to build this. You want to make something grow. Probably it could be from the very beginning, from like the seedlings. you want something to grow and you have it in your mind, and it could have been something you've been growing for a very long time. You know, time's fluid, and it just could be like maybe it's coming to that cusp of things being able to really, really pick up. But you had this Ten of Wands feeling, and I feel like either you are feeling like you are going to be giving out more responsibilities. So, like, this dude's going over to that town, and he's going to be able to put down all that bundle. Like, he's not going to have to carry it all the time anymore. Or, with this devil energy, are you continuing to carry it because you weren't able to give it out the way you wanted to? Like, maybe there was something about it that, you know, if you were trying to run a business, you know, and you wanted to make sure everything got done and you wanted it done a certain way and everything had to be perfect or, you know, up to your standards, I guess. But maybe you were so worried about people not being able to do it the way you wanted it because you wanted it done right and you knew how it was supposed to be done. And maybe you couldn't get them to do it, or you didn't think you could get them to do it. And you had this false narrative going on in your head that you weren't going to be able to trust people with what you wanted to actually have happen. So either you are still carrying this burden and or these responsibilities. Like maybe you said, okay, I'm going to have people, you know, you're going to do the accounts and you're going to do the website and you're going to do this and you're going to do that instead of you doing it. And it got to the point where you didn't feel comfortable about doing it anymore. And I don't think it was because you didn't think you were a good leader and you didn't think you were, you know, able to get them to do it. I feel like maybe you didn't think that they would do it right, so you weren't willing to put them in that kind of responsibility. Now, I mean, obviously it's not going to be for everybody, but I feel like there's a good chunk of you that might be having that feeling. Like you had that feeling where you could be able to lead people and you could guide them into what you want them to be, but it's a matter of you having to have the strength of you need to let it go. I feel like you can't let it go, and you have this devil energy making you feel like you can't let it go. So you need to let that go. It can't be something that's going to stop you from building what you want to build because your mind is still in a place where you just don't feel like you are motivating enough to make the things actually be done right, or you're just afraid to let it go because you put so much work into it up to this point, you don't trust anybody else. Now I do have, between the King of Wands and the King of Cups, I have this Ace of Wands where this is all about grabbing a hold of something. You have a passion for something that you seriously want to make happen. And with this Magician, that's telling me you have what you need. You have resources, you have knowledge, you have experience in whatever it is that you're trying to build. And like you want to do it from the beginning possibly, or maybe just not so far advanced that you would actually be building up somebody else's business. You're just trying to make it yours. And you have a flair for this, and you're like, I want to do this. So let's see, what do we have for between the King of Cups and Ten of Empty. Sorry, that's the Two of Swords and the High Priestess. That's what you're coming up with. This is like, you're in a debacle. Hey, I wanted to use that word for a while. All right, this is where you're trying to make decisions based on what you know and, you know, the facts that you have, and you're trying not to be bothered by whatever emotions are stirring up in you, or you don't really want to get this person's opinion, that person's opinion. You're not trying to hear it. You just want to like be, this is my thoughts, this is my thing, I want to do this. It's going to be what comes from my head, not yours. So you're trying to like, you know, shut up and let me think kind of feeling. Just like, don't disturb me, you know, but you're still trying to figure out how to get rid of these responsibilities without having to feel like it's not going to work out. And you have this High Priestess energy, and she's all about, you know, you have to go in your head, use your intuition, look at people and say if you could see in them what you want to see in them. Even though, see, this is about hidden things. This is like, you know, she's a keeper of secrets, and she is that energy where it's like, no, you have to keep going in and you have to keep finding what you need to find to be able to feel better about what this is. Because if you really want this to build and be the way you want it to be, you need to be the leader of it, not the worker. Like, you know, you're the queen or king bee, not the soldier guys. So for you to feel better about it, you're going to have to lose this, this doubt that you have. You have like self-doubt that you could actually be able to bring it forward, you know what I mean? But without, making it, being worried that you're not going to be choosing the right people to do those things. Or you won't be able to leave, like, how owners like tend to be, or not owners, but managers, they tend to stay longer than everybody else because they want to make sure everything was done. And I think at some point you're going to be like, okay, well, I'd like to go home and eat dinner too. That feeling, yeah, you are good enough. This is the full moon in Virgo energy. Again, that's another Pentacle sign, or Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. But the moon's not in Virgo now, but this is just the energy of that, and this is the energy that you need to be able to grab a hold of this and bring it to full strength. That you're good enough. You are totally good enough to be able to get them motivated and get them to be able to bring what you want into fruition. Like, you've done the hard work. You've already put in all the time that you need to. And now you can start bringing it to other people, and they can do the work that you want them to do to create this. Oh, that's really nice. All right, Taurus, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be coming back in March to do the full month reading. And I do appreciate any thumbs ups or subscribes. Write me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And then I will be seeing you soon. All right, take care.